The cold bit deep into Alex Mercer's face as he stepped onto the surface of the frozen moon. The air was thin, and each breath felt like ice cutting through his lungs. The sky above was dark, studded with stars that gleamed like distant fires. The outpost he was sent to investigate was barely visible, a collection of broken domes and antennas, battered by storms that had raged for centuries. Even from a distance, the faint hum of an unknown energy source made him pause. He adjusted the straps of his pack and checked the readings on his handheld scanner. The energy signature was unstable, fluctuating between bursts of warmth and sharp pulses that could fry electronics. This was no ordinary abandoned station. Something or someone was still active inside. Alex had been on countless missions before: rescue operations, reconnaissance, salvage, but there was a tension in his chest he hadn't felt in years. Not because of danger alone. No, it was the unknown. What had survived here? And why hadn't anyone reported it before? The entrance to the station was jagged, the metal twisted like it had been clawed from the inside. As he approached, the hum grew louder, almost like a heartbeat. His instincts told him to be cautious, but he also knew that hesitation could cost him valuable time. Taking a deep breath, Alex activated his flashlight and stepped into the dark corridor. The interior was worse than he expected. Dust and ice coated the floor, and the walls were etched with strange symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. Some of the markings looked like warnings, others like maps or diagrams of something biological. He couldn't be sure. He had learned long ago not to assume he understood alien logic. As he moved forward, he heard it, a faint whisper, almost drowned by the creaking of the station and the howl of wind outside. "I'm dirty." Inside and out, Alex froze. The voice was soft, fearful, almost childlike, yet it carried a weight he could not ignore. He scanned the corridor, his light swinging left and right. There, in a corner, huddled under a tattered blanket, was a figure. The alien was small, humanoid in shape, but unlike any species Alex had ever encountered. Her skin had a faint lavender hue, and thin streaks of glowing markings ran across her arms and legs. Her eyes were wide and luminous, reflecting the light in a way that made them seem almost liquid. Dirt and bruises covered her, and her hair, long and dark, stuck to her face in clumps. She shook slightly, as if even breathing was an effort. Alex approached slowly, hands raised to show he meant no harm. "Hey," he said softly, "I'm not here to hurt you. Can you stand?" The alien flinched, curling further into the blanket. "Don't touch me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I'm dirty." Alex knelt a few feet away. He could see the grime on her skin, but it wasn't just dirt. It was something different, something that pulsed faintly like the glow of the markings on her arms. His scanner beeped softly, confirming a faint energy signature coming from her body. "I can help," he said calmly. "I won't hurt you. I just want to know if you're okay." Her eyes flickered with fear, but also a hint of desperation. She shifted slightly, exposing a torn high-tech suit beneath the blanket. The material was torn and smeared with strange alien residue, and faint sparks of energy danced across its surface. Alex's breath caught. That suit and the energy signature, it wasn't just alien technology. It was something experimental, dangerous. He could freeze it in his hands, and that might be the end of both of them. I didn't mean," she said almost to herself. "Everything is wrong. I'm wrong." Alex's mind raced. He needed to get her out of here, but he also had to be careful. Any sudden movement, any wrong touch could trigger something unpredictable. He kept his tone gentle, careful. "It's okay. You're not wrong. I've seen worse. You're safe now." The alien hesitated, her chest rising and falling rapidly. Then slowly she allowed him to lift the edge of the blanket. Alex froze, not in fear but in awe. The suit beneath her skin was like nothing he had ever seen. Thin lines of bioluminescent energy ran across it, pulsing with life. Tiny circuits seemed embedded into her skin itself, merging with her biology in a way that was almost seamless. What is this?" he whispered, more to himself than to her. Her eyes met his, wide with shame. I was part of an experiment," she admitted. They made me this way. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it, and now I'm broken." Alex's jaw tightened. He had seen suffering before, yes. He had seen humans and aliens alike trapped in experiments, left for dead. But something about the vulnerability in her eyes struck a chord deep within him. This wasn't just about survival. This was about fear, guilt, and hope all tangled together. "Listen," he said firmly, keeping his voice low. I'm going to get you out of here. I don't care what experiments they did. You're still alive, and that means you can still fight. You're not dirty. You're not broken. You're human, in the way that counts." The alien's mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. She just stared as if trying to believe him. Alex stood slowly, keeping his eyes on her the entire time. "We need to move," he said. "This station isn't safe. There are automated defenses. They might still be active. Can you walk?" She shook her head weakly. I don't know. I've been hiding." For so long, Alex took a deep breath. He didn't have time for hesitation. Carefully, he lifted her into his arms. She was lighter than he expected, but her body trembled like a leaf in the wind. "I've got you," he said. "Just hold on." The corridor ahead was treacherous. Ice coated the floors and jagged metal jutted out from broken walls. Alex moved slowly, each step deliberate. Every shadow seemed to stretch and twist, playing tricks on his eyes. He could feel her pulse against his chest, erratic and faint, almost blending with the hum of her suit. "You're cold," she whispered. "I know," Alex said. "We'll warm up soon. Just a little further." The energy signature from her suit began to spike, sending tiny arcs of electricity across the metal walls. Alex's scanner beeped furiously, warning of a potential overload. He froze, holding her tighter, and carefully adjusted the direction of her body to dissipate the energy. A faint sizzle ran across his gloves, but nothing else happened. "Careful," she murmured, eyes wide. It hurts sometimes." "I can feel it," Alex said, though he had no idea what it really was. "But you're strong. Stronger than you think. Just a little longer." The corridor opened into a larger chamber, a control room of some kind. Broken monitors flickered weakly, displaying alien symbols Alex couldn't decipher. Panels of glowing light pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat in sync with her suit. He set her down gently, careful not to jostle her. "You're safe here for now," he said. "I just need to get the main doors open so we can leave." She nodded faintly, still trembling, still unsure of whether to trust him. Alex could see the fear in her eyes, the fear of being taken, of being experimented on again. He knew the trust wouldn't come easily. It never did. As he worked on the control panel, he glanced back at her. She was watching him, curiosity mixing with caution. The glow from her suit dimmed slightly as if responding to his calm presence. Alex couldn't explain it, but something in that moment told him they would make it out alive. He pressed a few sequences on the panel, overriding the security lockdown. The massive doors groaned and hissed as they slowly opened, revealing the frozen surface outside. The wind howled through the opening, but Alex welcomed it. Fresh air, danger, and possibility all rolled together in a chaotic symphony. "Ready?" he asked, looking down at her. She nodded, this time with more resolve. "Yes," she said quietly. "I trust you." Alex allowed himself a small smile. That single word carried more weight than any weapon or strategy. Trust. It was something humans excelled at, something that could change the course of any mission, no matter the odds. He lifted her again, careful and steady, and stepped out into the blinding snow. The station loomed behind them, broken and silent. But for the first time in what felt like forever, the hum of danger seemed manageable. They had each other, and that meant they had a chance. Above them, the stars continued to burn, indifferent and endless. Alex felt a spark of hope. Out here at the edge of human space, amid alien secrets and danger, he realized something important. Humans were resourceful, brave, determined, and sometimes that was enough to save even the most dirty and broken of souls. The wind cut sharply as Alex carried Lyra across the frozen plains of the moon. Every step was heavy, the snow sinking beneath his boots, making him fight for balance. Lyra's small body shivered against him, not just from the cold but from fear. Her glowing markings flickered faintly like the pulse of a frightened heart. "We need to find shelter," Alex said, scanning the horizon. "There should be a human outpost nearby, but it's not far. We just have to keep moving." Lyra's violet eyes looked up at him, hesitant. They will come for me," she whispered. "The ones who made me, they will never let me go." Alex tightened his grip, keeping his voice calm and steady. "Let them come. I've faced worse than this, and right now my job is to get you somewhere safe. Trust me." Her lips pressed into a thin line, but she did not argue. She had no choice but to trust him, for now. The first outpost they reached was little more than a cluster of domes and antennas, half buried in snow. Its doors were frozen shut and frost crept over every surface like a silver veil. Alex pounded on the door with gloved fists, hoping someone inside was awake. A low mechanical whir sounded and a small hatch slid open. A voice crackled through an intercom. "Who's out there? State your identity." "Captain Alex Mercer of the Human Exploration Corps," he replied, his voice strong. "I have a survivor, needs medical attention." The hatch slid fully open, revealing a tall figure in a heavy coat. Behind him, the interior of the outpost glowed warmly. "Bring her in," the figure said. "But be careful. This isn't a standard rescue." Alex nodded and carried Lyra inside. The warmth hit her immediately and she shivered less. Her suit, though still damaged, hummed faintly but more steadily now, as if responding to the safe environment. Inside, the outpost was cramped but functional. Monitors lined the walls, displaying maps of nearby moons and planets. Instruments measured temperature, energy, and radiation levels. Alex set Lyra down gently on a heated platform designed for medical scans. "Please," Lyra whispered. "Don't touch me too much. I could hurt you." Alex knelt beside her, examining the suit and her markings. "I'll be careful," he said. "But I need to understand what's happening. You're not like any alien I've seen before. Your suit, it's fused with your body." She flinched slightly at the words. "I wasn't born like this," she said softly. "I was changed. They said it would make me stronger, smarter, faster, but I couldn't control it. It hurt people. I couldn't stop it." Alex's brows furrowed. "People?" "Yes," she admitted, her voice breaking. I didn't mean to. I didn't know how. I ran and they—" Her words faltered. "They left me." Alex nodded slowly, understanding the weight behind her words. "You're not the same as your creators," he said firmly. "Whatever they did, it's not who you are. Right now you're alive. That's what matters." Lyra looked at him, a flicker of hope mixing with fear. For the first time, someone wasn't afraid of her glowing markings, her strange abilities, or the suit fused to her skin. A sudden alarm rang through the outpost, making the walls vibrate. Alex's scanner beeped urgently. "Energy surge," he muttered. "Lyra, your suit is reacting to something outside." Lyra tensed. "They found me," she whispered. "They are coming." Alex didn't panic. He had faced worse situations before. "Get ready," he said, checking the weapons and tools in the outpost. "We may need to defend ourselves, but we'll use strategy, not brute force." Outside, small ships moved through the frozen fog, scanning for life signs. The alien experimenters, or whatever they were, had found her. Alex watched the display carefully. There were too many to fight directly, but there were weaknesses. The snowstorms, the terrain, the sensors, they could be used. "Can you control your energy?" he asked her quietly. "Even a little?" Lyra shook her head. "Sometimes, but it's unpredictable. I don't want to hurt anyone else." Alex nodded. "Then we'll improvise. I've dealt with unstable tech before. We'll redirect, contain, and use it to our advantage. You just stay calm." The first of the enemy ships landed nearby, sending out small scouting drones. Alex motioned for Lyra to stay on the heated platform. Using his knowledge of the station, he tapped into the energy grid, carefully redirecting the ambient power to create temporary barriers and illusions. The drones hesitated, scanning the distorted signals. Lyra watched, fascinated and tense. You can do that?" she whispered. Alex smiled faintly. "Humans are clever when we have to be." The drones, confused by the false readings, flew back toward the ships. Alex used the moment to help Lyra stabilize her suit. He taught her small breathing exercises and gestures, simple human methods to calm her mind and body. Gradually, the pulses in her suit slowed, flickering less violently. "It's working," she said in awe, her hands trembling. "I can feel it. I can control it." "A little?" "Good," Alex said. "Control is the first step. Confidence comes next." The enemy ships attempted a direct landing, but Alex had anticipated it. Using the outpost's defenses and Lyra's partially stabilized abilities, they created a controlled energy pulse that disabled the ship's sensors temporarily. The alien experimenters had no idea where Lyra was. She stared at him, eyes wide. You saved me." Alex shook his head. "We saved each other. You've got power, skill, and potential. I've got strategy, planning, and stubbornness. Together we make a team." Lyra's face softened. "I never had anyone like you. I didn't know someone could care." "You'd be surprised," Alex replied. Humans can be relentless, but we can also be kind. That's what makes us strong. They spent the next hours preparing for escape. Lyra's suit was partially repaired using materials from the outpost. Alex taught her how to redirect small surges safely, how to mask her energy signature from the scanners. She absorbed every lesson quickly, proving her enhanced abilities weren't just physical, they were mental too. As the sun rose faintly over the icy horizon, they made their move. The snowstorm provided cover, and Alex carried Lyra carefully. Her suit hummed faintly now under her control, providing light and warmth. They moved silently, avoiding patrols until they reached a ridge overlooking a distant valley. From there, Alex could see another outpost, larger and more secure. It was human, and it promised safety, medical care, and most importantly, time to understand Lyra fully without fear of pursuit. "You think we can make it?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. Alex smiled, glancing at her. "We've made it this far, haven't we?" "One step at a time. Humans survive because we don't give up. You've got the skills. I've got the plans. Together we'll get there." Lyra nodded, determination flickering in her violet eyes. For the first time, she felt like she wasn't just a victim. She was someone with purpose, with strength. And beside her, Alex Mercer wasn't just a rescuer. He was proof that humans could inspire courage even in the most broken souls. The journey ahead would be dangerous. The experimenters wouldn't stop. Lyra's abilities were still unstable, but for the first time, hope burned brighter than fear. They were a team, and together they had a chance to face whatever came next. As they descended into the valley, the rising sun reflected off the ice, painting the world in shades of gold and silver. Alex felt a spark of pride, not in himself, but in the resilience of the human spirit. Even here, on the edge of known space, humanity's courage and ingenuity shone brightly, a beacon for allies and a warning to enemies. Lyra's hand brushed against his arm, hesitant but trusting. "Thank you," she said softly. Alex nodded. "We do what we must," he replied. "And sometimes we find strength in the strangest places." Together they continued forward, stepping carefully through the snow. Each step was a test of endurance, a reminder of the danger that surrounded them. But more importantly, each step was a promise that no matter what came, neither of them would face it alone. The valley was wide and icy, stretching for miles under the pale light of the frozen sun. Alex and Lyra moved cautiously, their footprints the only marks in the pristine snow. For the first time in days, the alien was calm enough to walk without trembling, though her glowing markings still pulsed faintly with residual energy. "This way," Alex whispered, pointing to a ridge that led to a cluster of human outposts in the distance. "We can reach one before nightfall. They'll help us stabilize your suit and give us a base to plan the next move." Lyra nodded, but her voice trembled slightly. "I don't know if I can control it fully. What if I hurt someone again?" "You won't," Alex replied firmly. "I'm right here. Remember what we practiced. Calm, focused, one step at a time. Your energy is powerful, but you're learning to guide it." She took a deep breath, trying to steady her heartbeat. The suit's glow dimmed as she focused, and Alex felt a small surge of hope. I think I can do it," she murmured. Alex smiled faintly. "I know you can. Humans survive in extreme conditions because we adapt, and you're already more than capable of adapting." As they moved forward, faint signals flickered on Alex's scanner. Drones, small, hovering machines scanning the area for life forms. He crouched low, motioning Lyra to do the same. "They're close," he said quietly. "We need to stay hidden." Lyra nodded, her glowing markings dimming further as she concentrated. Together, they slipped between rocks and ice formations, using shadows and terrain as cover. Alex was impressed. Her reflexes were sharp, her mind quick. Even in fear, she was learning, adapting, surviving. Hours passed as they navigated the valley. The drones began to retreat, confused by Lyra's controlled energy pulses and Alex's clever use of terrain. For the first time, it seemed they had gained a small advantage, "See?" Alex whispered. "You're stronger than you think, and with focus you can control your abilities." Lyra glanced at him, a small smile breaking through her tension. I never believed anyone could teach me that. I thought I was broken." "You're not broken," Alex said. "Humans are proof that survival and growth are stronger than fear. You're learning, and that makes you powerful." Eventually, they reached the human outpost. It was larger than the first, fully operational and equipped to handle alien technology. Heated corridors and reinforced doors gave Alex a sense of relief. Inside, medical personnel and engineers immediately began assessing Lyra and her suit. "Captain Mercer," one of the engineers said, glancing at him. "This alien's energy readings are unlike anything we've seen. Are you sure she's stable enough to be here?" Alex nodded. "She's learning to control it. With your help, we can stabilize her fully." Lyra watched nervously as technicians approached, scanning her suit and energy signature. She flinched slightly but held Alex's hand. I trust him," she whispered. The engineers worked quickly, attaching monitoring devices and running diagnostic programs. Alex stayed close, explaining her abilities and the importance of careful handling. Over time, Lyra's pulses slowed and the glowing markings on her suit became steady, controlled. "It's working," Alex said quietly. "You're doing it." Lyra looked at him, her violet eyes wide with awe. I can feel it. "I can really control it now." "Good," he replied. "Control is power, and power can be used to protect, not destroy." But their moment of relief was short-lived. Alerts began flashing across the outpost monitors. The alien experimenters had tracked Lyra's energy signature and were moving closer. Alex scanned the incoming data carefully. The ships were fast, heavily armed, and relentless. "They're coming," Alex said, voice calm but urgent. "We need a plan." Lyra's hands trembled slightly. I can help," she said. "If I focus, I can create pulses to disable their sensors or slow their ships. But it will take energy, and I might get tired." Alex nodded. "We'll do it together. You focus on control, I'll handle strategy. That's the strength of humans. We work as a team." For the next several hours, they prepared. Barricades were reinforced, energy grids rerouted, and defensive protocols set in place. Alex taught Lyra small maneuvers to manipulate her energy, using it to create illusions, disrupt scanners, and confuse the enemy. "You're amazing," Lyra whispered as she executed a precise pulse that temporarily disabled a scanning drone. "Humans are resourceful," Alex said with a grin. "But so are you. You're learning fast." The first wave of enemy ships arrived just as night fell. Shadows of their hulls stretched across the icy ground, reflecting faintly in the frozen landscape. Alex and Lyra moved to a high observation point, watching as the ships descended, scanning for life forms. "Stay calm," Alex whispered. "We've got this." Lyra took a deep breath, focusing on her suit's energy. A soft hum built around her, faint pulses radiating outward, masking their position. The drones hesitated, confused by the fluctuating signals. Alex smiled. "Perfect. Keep it steady." As the ship scanned, Alex relayed tactical advice. "Now pulse left. That's it. Good. Keep them guessing." Lyra followed his guidance flawlessly, and soon the drones began returning to the ships, reporting false readings. The experimenters had no idea where Lyra was. "See?" Alex said quietly. "Teamwork, human ingenuity, and alien ability. That's unstoppable." She looked at him, a smile breaking through her fear. "I never thought I could do this." I feel powerful." "You are," Alex said, "but power is nothing without control. You're learning that. You're growing, and you're not alone." The night passed slowly, with occasional pulses from Lyra's suit keeping the enemy at bay. Alex watched her closely, noting every twitch, every hesitation, ready to intervene if needed. Despite the tension, there was a quiet bond forming between them, a trust built on survival, courage, and shared struggle. By dawn, the ships had retreated, unable to track Lyra's exact location. Alex and Lyra were exhausted but victorious. The outpost was intact, and Lyra's abilities were more stable than ever before. "You did it," Alex said softly. "You controlled your power. You survived the night." Lyra looked at him, awe and gratitude in her eyes. I couldn't have done it without you. You believed in me." Alex shook his head. "No, you believed in yourself. I just showed you the way. That's what humans do. We inspire, we teach, we survive together. That's the difference, and that's why we never give up." For the first time, Lyra felt truly human, not in form but in spirit. She had been frightened, alone, and labeled as dangerous. Now she had control, hope, and an ally she could trust. Alex watched her, realizing something important. Humans were more than survival instincts and weapons. They were empathy, courage, and guidance, and sometimes that made them stronger than the most advanced technology. "Rest now," he said, guiding her to a warm chamber. "Tomorrow we'll plan the next step. There's more to do, and you'll need all your strength." Lyra settled down, her suit dimming slightly but still warm and steady. She looked up at Alex. "Do you think I can really be free?" Alex smiled. "I know you can. Freedom isn't about escaping. It's about control, courage, and knowing you're not alone. You've got all three, and I'm not going anywhere." Outside, the sun rose over the icy valley, casting golden light over a world that had seemed so hostile just days ago. Inside the outpost, two unlikely allies rested, but they were ready. Ready for the challenges ahead, ready for the enemies who would come, and ready to show that humans with courage and ingenuity could protect and inspire even the most extraordinary beings. Together, they were unstoppable. The morning sun barely pierced the frozen mist as Alex and Lyra prepared to leave the outpost. The valley stretched endlessly before them, ice and snow reflecting pale light that made every shadow sharper. Today would not be a quiet journey. The alien experimenters had tracked Lyra's energy signature again, and their numbers were greater, their ships faster, more advanced. Alex checked the scanners one last time. "They're close. More than yesterday. But we've learned from last time, and you've grown stronger. Focus, and we can handle this." Lyra nodded, determination in her violet eyes. Her suit glowed softly, pulsing rhythmically as if in tune with her heartbeat. I feel ready," she said. "I can control it fully now." Alex smiled faintly. "That's what I wanted to hear. Remember, calm and precise, one step at a time." They moved swiftly across the icy terrain, Alex scouting ahead and Lyra following, energy controlled pulses masking her presence. Every step they took was deliberate, every movement calculated. For the first time, fear did not control them, strategy and trust did. As they neared a narrow canyon that led to a hidden cave system, the enemy appeared. Several sleek alien ships hovered above, scanning, searching. The sun glinted off their metallic hulls, casting shadows like claws over the snow. "They're trying to corner us," Alex whispered. "But this canyon will give us an advantage. Follow my lead." Lyra's suit hummed softly, glowing brighter. "I'm ready," she said. Alex signaled and dropped behind a snow-covered ridge. He tapped into a nearby energy conduit, rerouting power to the terrain, creating illusions of multiple paths and false heat signatures. The drones hovered cautiously, confused by the conflicting signals. "Now," Alex whispered. Lyra extended her hands, focusing energy into the snow. A pulse radiated outward, masking their signature completely. The enemy ships hesitated, unable to locate their target. Alex and Lyra moved through the canyon swiftly. The walls were steep, but the ice provided grip. Their movements were coordinated, silent, precise. They reached the entrance to a cave system, hidden by frost and shadows. Inside, the cave was wide, with crystal formations reflecting light faintly. Alex guided Lyra to a safe platform, allowing her to rest and stabilize her suit. "We're not out of danger yet," he said. "But here we can plan the next move and counterattack if needed." Lyra sat quietly, watching the crystal glow. "I never imagined humans could be like this." "You're clever, brave, and patient. I don't know if I could have survived without you." Alex shrugged slightly. "It's what humans do. We adapt, we survive, we protect. But it's also teamwork. You've done most of the work. You've grown stronger, controlled your abilities. I just showed the way." She smiled faintly, her confidence growing. "Then together we can face them." "I won't run anymore," Alex nodded. "Good, that's the spirit. Remember, power is nothing without control, and courage is nothing without strategy. Combine them, and you're unstoppable." They spent hours preparing inside the cave. Alex mapped out the terrain, noting vantage points, escape routes, and weak spots in the enemy ship's approach. Lyra practiced controlled pulses, learning to redirect energy to specific points, create temporary shields, and generate illusions that could confuse multiple drones at once. By late afternoon, the alien ships approached. This time they moved cautiously, scanning for life signs and energy readings. But Alex and Lyra were ready. "Ready?" Alex whispered. Lyra nodded, her suit glowing steadily. "Yes, let's end this." The first wave of drones entered the canyon, scanning. Lyra raised her hands and a pulse radiated outward, disrupting the drone's sensors. They froze, hovering, confused. Alex activated the terrain's energy conduits, creating false heat signatures and visual illusions. The drones began attacking the illusions instead of the real targets. "Keep it steady," Alex said. "Now focus on the next group." Lyra extended her energy outward, creating a barrier that temporarily blocked the path of approaching ships. Sparks of light danced across the ice as the barrier interacted with the canyon walls. The enemy faltered, unsure how to proceed. Alex climbed to a vantage point using a handheld device to amplify Lyra's pulses. Together, they created a network of controlled energy pulses, masking their location while confusing the enemy ships. "They don't know where we are," Alex whispered. "Perfect. Now we strike." Lyra focused, concentrating her energy into precise bursts. Drones began dropping from above, their systems disrupted by the pulses. One by one, the ship's sensors failed, forcing them to retreat slightly. Alex guided her, coordinating each move, turning fear and chaos into a controlled offensive. "You're amazing," Alex said quietly. "Humans are clever, but this is something else." Lyra smiled, determination blazing. "I can do this. I can control it fully now." As the enemy regrouped, Alex and Lyra executed the final strategy. Using a combination of terrain manipulation, energy pulses, and quick thinking, they created a trap in the canyon. The ship's sensors were overloaded, drones disabled, and the experimenters forced to retreat to avoid damage. The last ship tried to escape, but Lyra directed a final controlled pulse, cutting off its path and forcing it to land away from the canyon. Its systems were compromised, and the alien pilot had no choice but to retreat. Silence fell over the canyon. Snow drifted gently, covering the signs of the skirmish. Alex and Lyra stood together, breathing heavily but victorious. "You did it," Alex said, smiling. "You controlled your power. You fought intelligently. You survived, and you won." Lyra looked at him, awe and gratitude in her eyes. I couldn't have done this without you. You believed in me." Alex shook his head. "No, you believed in yourself. Humans can inspire, but ultimately it's courage and choice that matter. You chose to fight, to control, to survive. That's what counts." For the first time, Lyra felt free, not just from the immediate danger, but from the fear and shame that had haunted her for so long. She was not dirty or broken. She was strong, controlled, and capable. And beside her was a human who had shown her that trust, courage, and intelligence could overcome even the most advanced threats. They made their way back to the larger human outpost, moving cautiously, but without fear. Along the way, Alex taught her small tactics for future encounters, blending human ingenuity with her alien abilities. Each step reinforced the bond between them: trust, respect, and the shared goal of survival. When they reached the outpost, medical personnel immediately checked Lyra's vitals and her suit. Everything was stable. She had mastered control over her energy, and the risk of unpredictable surges was gone. Alex watched her closely, a faint pride in his eyes. "You've grown a lot," he said quietly. "Stronger, smarter, more capable than you were just days ago. This is what humans do. We adapt and teach. That's why we survive." Lyra smiled, a real confident smile for the first time. I'm ready now, to face anything. To explore, to learn, to be free." Alex nodded. "And you will. Not because I say so, but because you're human in spirit now. Courage, intelligence, adaptability, you have it all. And you've learned the greatest lesson. Control your power, trust yourself, and never give up." The sun set slowly over the icy horizon, painting the world in hues of gold and silver. Alex and Lyra stood together on the ridge, looking out at the stars. They had faced impossible odds, survived attacks, and conquered fear. Lyra turned to him. "Thank you, Alex, for everything. You showed me what it means to survive, to fight, to be brave." Alex smiled, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. "No, you showed me too. Humans are brave. But sometimes we need someone else's courage to remind us why we keep going. Together, we're unstoppable." For the first time, Lyra truly believed it. She was no longer the scared, broken alien hiding in shadows. She was powerful, controlled, and free. And beside her, Alex Mercer stood as proof that humans, through ingenuity, empathy, and courage, could change the fate of even the most extraordinary beings. As night fell, the two of them looked out at the stars, ready to explore the galaxy together. The frozen moon, once a place of fear and uncertainty, had become a symbol of resilience, growth, and the enduring power of human spirit. And in that moment, amid the cold, the ice, and the endless stars, Alex and Lyra knew one thing for certain. No matter what dangers awaited, they would face them together, and humanity would always find a way to prevail.